5. So effectively, if you lose this series, you're not fully mathematically eliminated. No, you are.
Yeah, if you're 0-2, you
if you're
definitely
0-2,
are.
and if you tie, you depend on Aster and BetBoom both losing all their games.
Right.
Which is 2 each. They only have 1 series left. So
okay,
everything to play for here.
And I know from Shopify's perspective, they have not gotten a 2-0 at all.
Nope, they have 5 draws and
lots
1
of
loss.
draws amongst everybody, it seems.
The only team they lost to 2-0 was actually BetBoom, who are currently in 4th. So that could end up being really important for the final run out of this group. But they did get 2-0 by that team in particular instead of, say, 9 Pandas or Gaming Gladiators, who are currently tied for 1st. Every game matters in these round robins. You got to bring it your all right from the start till the finish. Unless you know you go like 10-0 and you're locked in, but that has not been happening this time. This has been one of the most competitive group stages we've had in a long time. In the other group, there's currently a 3-way tie for 1st with 8 and 6, and a 3-way tie for 4th with 7 and 7.
Yeah.
So
I mean, even the teams that are eliminated already, like TSM is
okay, unexpected first blood here.
Taiga kills crit. Interesting.
That was not one I saw coming here with Rubik plus Jugger lane. So they did opt to put the Veno bottom with the Magnus. The panel thought this was going to be a Veno Jugger lane. It's a classic, but I wonder what the mindset is from OG that has made them take this route of choosing to put... actually, did they have a choice? I guess they didn't. The Veno had to be core, right? No, Seb could have been Veno, and they could have played a core mag. Playing the support mag is pretty interesting. I guess they just see enough value in getting the Venom versus Bloodseeker matchup to demote the Magnus.
Well, maybe,
but it is a little bit of an oddball.
maybe Seb just isn't a Veno player. You know, some people just aren't like that.
Well, yeah, maybe he plays neither Veno nor Rubik. That's actually possible. I don't know if I've seen him play Rubik. I think I've seen him play Veno, though.
I mean, when he's pubbing between all his stand-in appearances,
he plays
what
Wind
position
Ranger.
does he play?
He plays position Wind.
I see, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that hero's not in this game, unfortunately for him. But we see Miracle in the mid lane, kind of a... what's the right word to use? Up and down, I suppose, performance thus far.
Yeah.
And a lot of it's hard to tell if it's individual performance or the team dynamic around his play style. I mean, have you seen anything that would indicate one thing or over the other?
Not in particular. At the very least, I think it's a pretty fair verdict to say he hasn't disappointed, right? Like, he might not have blown people away outside of perhaps one individual game performance, but he hasn't been like the... It's not like, oh, the reason Shopify are 5 and 7 is that Miracle isn't playing well. Like, I think it's been more of a team issue in terms of like whether it's strategy. In some of the games, I think the drafts have been looking pretty rough for them, and then others just been outplayed primarily in the mid game. Shopify as a team has always been pretty stable in their lanes. They'll generally get through that just fine, and then sometimes just don't really hit the mark afterwards. And in this game, it looks like stable laning phase for them as well. Not looking too bad in any of the lanes, so off to an okay start despite getting that first blood on the Rubik.
So looking at the lineups, do you favor one team over the other?
I don't really have a favorite based on draft. I think I can definitely see what both teams are trying to do. I guess maybe I slightly favor Shopify because the mag is a 4, because I think there's more, the ease of execution is going to be a little bit, it's going to be more challenging for OG to find the fights that they want, I think, with Seb having less gold than DM would have had on the mag, because like, what's their catch? It's a Magnus with a skewer, or it's a Rubik lift, and the mag is not going to have a dagger at any early point.
The one good thing about having support mag is you will be around Juggernaut a little bit more often as a support to be able to empower him, as opposed to when you're core and you're kind of on your own.
Yeah, how do you skill though?
Good
on
question.
4 mag, do you go 4 and empower? Oh, big pressure here onto DM.
Yeah, he's slowed down by that blood grenade, but a nice skewer from Seb, separating
them.
Yeah, that's good.
Very good.
That's good.
Yes.
DM on this Bananamancer. I'm assuming this is just going to be one of those all aura type builds for Veno. It's pretty strong in this patch.
Yeah, and it's also strong in this game. I think Pipe is just an absolute no-brainer against the Radiant team. It's incredible, this game. So much damage mitigation.
Could you see a Greaves or something of that nature for the global?
Yeah, Venno isn't a hero that needs the Dispel that much, so I think I'd actually rather see him go Lotus so he can help a teammate. It's also, in this game, I think it's a bit hard to tell which item makes him tankier, actually. I guess Greaves is a little bit more tankiness, but there's just added value to the Lotus because you can reflect Roar and Lasso, so I just think that item looks incredible. So yeah, I think Pipe Lotus would be a really nice path for DM to take here. See if that's what he ends up doing.
Well, early on, BZM 25-11, and Miracle is 23-7. But overall, very close in all the CS, for all the lanes, actually. You can see the very little separation. Is Crit getting chased by Taiga right now. The Fade Bolt was there. And he's going to get the blast off.
I actually lost the vision there for the lift. Taiga. Really nice escape from Crit. I think, did Taiga just place that obs? He did.
Miracle's actually going for this. BZM actually misses the
chain.
Timber chain. There's the TP from Taiga.
Oh,
but
boy.
BZM burning to the ground. That was not an expected kill.
Definitely not.
Miracle now level 6.
And what we've been seeing from the support Bats in the side lane, Bats has often been this 1-1-3 build, but Miracle in the mid going 3-1-1, and once he gets those 4 stacks up on the Timber, it burns. Nice kill for him. Important for Shopify to get this Bat Rider online. There's so much. Something I really like about their lineup is when you look at potential skirmishing pairings, there's just so many playmakers, right? You can play Bat +1, you can play Beastmaster +1. Either of those kill with Techies, and you have Global Silence when you get the catch to prevent saves. So like, it's just a real feels-good lineup when you get the jump. And it also allows something that I think Arteezy has become better at in the last year is getting more involved from his safe lane carry. And he actually has very good friends to play with in this game.
Oh, going for it again. Sticky Bomb into the blast off as well. BZM burning to the ground. Second death in less than a minute. Great execution from Shopify.
This is the worst start we've seen from a Timber mid all tournament, at least in games we've cast. Timber just hasn't lost his lanes ever.
Crit actually pops a Fairy Fire Blood Grenade on top of him. Looks like he's going to survive those. 4 stacks on Seb. So he's going to be in trouble here. Careful. Sticky Bomb is there. A couple more right clicks will do it.
Oh,
and
boy.
that's TP down as well. So OG getting punished in this mid lane.
Do you know that famous song by Miley Cyrus, Disaster in the Middle Lane?
Nope.
Oh, that's that one.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, it's okay. You know, probably know a movie instead, though. That has the same theme.
She was in Black Mirror, so I do know that.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yep, exactly. That's why we work so well together.
We do. We can make references that neither of us understands.
And we finish each other's
movies.
That's right.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
In a way, that is true.
You finish your own movie, and I finish mine. So now Miracle's level 7.5 and almost has travels, and BZM is just cracked 6.5, so full level advantage there in the mid lane. And this feels like the kind of game that Bad Rider, if he plays well around the Venomancer, he could truly just take over this game. So
for sure, a
lot of possibilities for Miracle to really shine here. He's actually going to look for a gank top. I like this move a lot. I don't think it's very obvious that he's TPing up here and trying to gank the Jugger. The challenge here is going to be forcing his spin. Either you could, I guess you could just roar him straight up in the lane, and if he spins, then you're going to lasso off it, and if he doesn't, then...
lane, Seb gets the nice skewer onto Arteezy, who gets off the Rupture, attempting to run away, has a lot of poison applied to him, will eventually fall. The Omni Slash comes out, Yuragi going to spin down Fly, so they do lose the Venomancer, 2-for-1, advantage OG. And they can see Crit going to get gone on now, as BZM makes an appearance.
This was basically perfect timing from OG. So the Bat made the move toward top, and at the same time, Yuragi took the gate bottom to go for that gank. So effectively just, even though Miracle was the first one to make the move, he didn't get to connect on the Jug, and he just finds himself stranded top and effectively just wasted time. So yeah, hard to say whether that was a prediction from Yuragi that he even expected to dodge that Bat gank, or if he just wanted to go for the bottom play regardless, but
yeah, we have a roar top. Arteezy
he might just TP out here.
Well, yep, he will attempt to get out, but the Centaur!
Oh, it's silenced! Oh! It was silenced by the Blood Ray.
So sad.
Oh, my highlight.
Tower is under attack.
Oh.
Could have been a good clip right there,
so
but...
close yet so far.
Yep. Neutral's actually remaining neutral for once. Very fair.
I mean, that's not something you typically think about. Don't silence the Centaur.
I mean, if he doesn't Blood Right, the camp wouldn't have been aggroed, right? So I guess in the end it's the same.
True.
Same thing.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
So Miracle has boots of travel now, and looks like he's going for the Octarine BKB.
Yeah.
As BZM, oh, nice lasso, basically disrupting that timber chain. Blast off is going to come as well. Not sure if that even hit, but either way.
Oh, and Miracle even has
gets a big
regen.
kill.
This feels so good. You spend your entire mana pool killing a core, and now you can just regen up and keep going. You see Miracle is absolutely thrilled.
It's either a picture or he is very stout.
He is very stoic when he plays bat. He puts all of his APM into his hands. That's an interesting fact that people might not know about Miracle. When he's playing, only his hands are moving. Everything else is just completely static. So it looked like a picture, but his fingers were actually all over the place.
The facial animations just take up so many resources, as you would know. Just got to cut that out.
He has played a lot of Dota. He has optimized everything.
Tier 1 tower goes down. Miracle.
Oh, is he actually going to die here? He is.
Cinder and Curse lives on. Miracle can't get to the low ground. And that kill goes to Yuragi.
All right, that rotation from OG paying dividends. Sure, they lose their tower, but getting that Miracle kill for Yuragi is very big. He's already top net worth. Now he's going to pull way ahead. 1,000 up on the Bloodseeker at this point. Pet Rider, that is...
Live picture of Quinn.
I don't know if that was a reference to Miracle only moving his hands, and this is the antithesis. When Quinn is playing, he's only moving his face.
Yeah,
well,
that's true.
Either way, pretty even game. I think Shopify probably not too mad about those deaths mid, considering they did get the tower, which is a big objective to get 11 minutes in. When you have Bat Rider on your team, if that lane is pushed out, there's just more playmaking potential. The map is more open for you to cross and fly over the trees and kill enemies in the triangle area, for example. So definitely feels good for them, but this Jugger pick that that OG went for as their 4th pick is definitely showing his prowess so far. Been a bit of a polarizing hero this tournament. Like, some teams have picked it early, some teams have picked it late, and I feel like in general Jugger either looks great or terrible. Like, it's a very hit or miss pick. It's not often you see like, oh, Jugger was okay in this game, but this feels like a game where he could be great. He has some interesting qualities against the Radiant lineup. He has the spin against the Bat and against the Techies. He has Omnislash against Rupture. And he has Empower. So there's a lot of good reasons to run this hero this game.
Like, we're going to have the unpause here shortly. We can kind of get back up to speed with builds and whatnot. I remember Saberlight was being interviewed a couple days ago, and he was asked about Aghanim Scepter. When do you go it on Beastmaster? He's like, I don't go that Aghanim Scepter almost ever on this hero, which is interesting because we see it very often on other Beastmaster players.
Yeah, maybe just not his style.
Yeah, perhaps.
I think the item is insane.
He does go for it occasionally, but I would say the Helm of the Dom is far more common for him.
Yeah,
and just general auras.
Probably the last player to prioritize that right now in this tournament. I think everyone else is going Ags more often than other items. It almost feels like the aura items are a fallback plan if your lane doesn't go well. We've seen people go like Pipe or something if the game isn't headed in the right direction for you. Smoke up here for Rebellion. Gonna bring a squadron of 3 heroes smoke through the gate. Looking for probably... I guess they're expecting to find the Timber up here, but they don't have any vision, and, well, they're not going to find anyone. At the very least, they get a good ward out. Nice move here from BZM to not get caught. I say that he's actually back up there. He has a shield. He's really tanky it right now.
He is attempting to TP out. Blast off is there. Still silenced, still ruptured, but still relatively tanky. Will Timber Chain a little bit to the side, but dies shortly after.
What a hero.
It only took them about 20 seconds to get that kill, but Shopify will successfully do so.
And the extra 800 HP from Shield Rune makes that look a lot more egregious than it actually is. We can discuss if Shield Rune is egregious, which I would argue it is, but...
That's fine.
That's a different thing.
It's a cool rune. Miracle took out a pretty big stack of Ancients here, as he had the Vanguard, which he'll take apart for the Octarine shortly.
Interesting to see the Travels Rush mid still going Vanguard instead of just going straight for... I mean, I suppose you do it anyway, right? Why not?
Yeah, there's no
downside.
Taiga, he's going to get gone on. Lasso and Destruction. +2 for Fly.
Nice.
And from OG's side...
-2 for Taiga.
Yeah, that's true. BZM, he'll be going... Oh, I thought he was going to be going for Octarine. Looks like it's going to be Lotus.
Yeah, so we already established how good that item was going to be for Veno this game. But they're going to get it on Timber as well, and I'm assuming DM will still get it, but actually surprised to see him rushing Greaves and not going Pipe yet. I wonder what the rationale is here. I still think the Greaves don't... The enemy team doesn't have a lot of damage that the Greaves is going to be blocking when you get low, right, for the aura. Like, I want to say 80 to 90% of their damage right now is magical, so Pipe just has insane value right now. And if you want the Greaves later, you could maybe get them later. You could get a value mech and then go Pipe. You don't have to finish the full Greaves. There's some different paths here for DM, but at the end of the day, the most important thing is he's having a good laning stage and he's going in the right direction, right? He's getting the auras, he's getting the mitigation that they need against the Radiant team, so whether one item is slightly better than the other is not too important. Taiga will
looks like he's gonna die again.
-2.
Trying to go for a rune.
What if Taiga runs out of mana eventually? What then? Well, he's got mana boots and faded brooch. He can lose some int.
Yeah, we've seen some videos like that before.
Not with Rubik though.
True. BZM. We're gonna push these lanes out. Saberlight has that Helm of the Dom. Gonna be going for the Overlord, of course.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
At which point, I would assume that's when Shopify are gonna try to instigate some more fights.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Interesting from Yuragi. He went Cornucopia, but is not going Battle Fury because he has Magnus.
I think he may have changed his mind.
Yeah, because this is not a good value item. Cornucopia is stupidly expensive.
Global
for what
Silence initiation with the Roar and the Lasso used all onto BZM. He will die, but that was expensive for Shopify. Let's see if they can get out. As OG have come in numbers, Taiga is just dying from afar. That's some long-range artillery just destroying him.
He ran through a Firefly and axes. I feel like that was just a bit of a blunder.
He's gonna have to use his spin, so Shopify maybe the better this situation for sure.
Oh, now they can
pressure this tier 2.
They're not. I mean, they might actually be able to. They don't have siege creep. I don't think you're getting this right now. DM is setting up shop here. Okay, yeah. He's going. If he actually buys this Midas, then I'm okay. Then I don't understand the build anymore. If you go Greaves into Midas on Veno, that's very unusual.
Setting up for the late game or something.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they've changed their mindset and they're like, we're not going to hit the timing that we were aiming for, but it's a little bit of an oddball with the item builds, right? If he goes Midas and the Jugger got a Cornucopia and is not going to use that, I mean, I guess he can buy Lincolns or something later, right?
It could have been one of those, oh, my Juggernaut bought an item that he's not going to combine anytime soon. Time to build Midas. That's a pub mentality, right? You don't like what one of your teammates has in their inventory, and all right, if that's what you're gonna do, Midas time.
Anything is better than 6 different types of boots, so.
That's true, that's only a Slacks thing, but we'll see if he actually commits to the Midas or not.
So Manta for Yuragi is on the way, and he's rushing, I say. His next item is going to be a Diffusal Blade, so pretty interesting build here. Feels like a great game to get Scotty in, I would say.
OG are smoked up. Don't think they're going to run into anybody, although Miracle is in the vicinity.
Have level 4 Empower from Seb, so Jug will be hitting that extra bit harder. How much damage is he getting out of Empower right now? Probably about 40 or something. It's nice.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah, the Diffusal, we've been seeing that a lot on Universal Heroes. We've been seeing it a lot against Medusa. What is the actual reason you're getting it here? I mean, it's not like it's bad necessarily. It's a very good value item in general, but typically you'd see something a little different.
I don't know if his...
Maybe he wants to go Disperser at some point. Maybe
his mentality is also, we don't have the best catch, so I need to, when I'm running in, I need to be able to slow target so I can get on top of them. Because I think that's the key argument here over Scotty, because the Diffusal, as you said, the Mana Burn isn't particularly useful this game, so I think usually Juggers will gravitate more toward the heavier stat items in that case, like Scotty, or sometimes we've seen Jugs go even S and Y. He's not going to do that with a Manta, but yeah, that's my best reasoning, is that he wants to set himself up for success. Because otherwise, I definitely am a bigger fan of a Scotty here. What ends up happening when you go this build, right? When you go Manta Diffusal, you're actually not that tanky.
Yeah, that's...
Jug's stat gains aren't the best. 2.2 strength gain is actually abysmal, so...
And considering you have 3 abilities that technically go through 4 abilities, actually, that go through spin. I didn't realize that. My goodness. Rupture, Global Silence, Roar, and Lasso. Spin is almost useless this game.
Yeah. He needs to beef up because he will get caught. I think it's almost impossible to not get lassoed or roared in this game as Jugger.
Oh, Taiga. Oh, he's actually fine.
Wow. Talking about stunts for the Dire, well, what do you know?
DM did commit for the Midas. It is officially in his inventory and has been used.
Radiant's middle tower is under
I
attack.
think it's going to be very telling what he queues up next.
Another
Hope it's
Midas.
not a boots of
Dagon?
travel.
Let's go Dagon here.
How about second Midas?
Sure.
Okay,
Dire's
hypothetical.
bottom tower
If you could buy
is under
more than
attack.
one Midas, do you think there's any hero that would be good on?
Yeah, Alchemist.
If they had independent cooldowns.
Alchemist.
You think Alc could buy 2 Midases and it would be good?
Because then you sell it a little earlier. You're getting like a little bit of extra value. Yeah, I think so.
No. Alc doesn't even buy
Dire's
1.
bottom tower has fallen.
Yeah, but if you could buy
Why
2,
do you want 2?
just shut your mouth and just agree with me for once. Is
Yeah,
Miracle?
that's a good point, Shannon.
Thank you.
I agree
That's
about...
the American way. If somebody disagrees with you, shut your mouth. You know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's asking me on the spot. I'm trying to cast a freaking game here.
Yeah, my bad. If there's anything you don't want to do, it's go off topic.
Do you have a hero in mind?
No. I was just
Okay.
curious about your awful suggestions.
Dire's
All
middle
right,
tower
very
is
good.
under attack.
OG have smoked up. Already 9 pets have been killed. My goodness. Massacre today.
Yeah.
Saberlight's really feeding those away, huh?
Wonder how many of them are boars and how many are birds.
Radiant are scanning.
That's a great question.
Pretty important for determining how many families it can feed. It's a bit more on the boar than on the hawk.
Boars have big
Dire's
litters.
bottom tower is under attack.
Those
Yeah.
javelinas are pretty scary, let me tell you.
Sab?
Sab?
Did he got spun.
Miracle.
No, he
Nobody
didn't.
sees them now. They both look away. All
He
right.
actually didn't see him on the way in. All right.
Radiant's
Tier 1
middle
tower mid is going to be taken
fallen.
out. BZM holding the fort on the bot.
Nice tower take
Lane.
there from OG, though. Just getting that mid tower without any fight breaking out. Considering Shopify have all of their ultis, they still just let them have it. Yuragi is progressing at a good pace, and power is very, very helpful for him. So he is staying on top of the net worth, but not by a lot. And the following 3 are on the Shopify side, all of them reaching some pretty crucial items. Beastmaster with the Overlord soon-to-be pipe. Bad Rider has the Octarine. And Arteezy has... Well,
Dire's
he
current
has the Manta,
has been
Maelstrom, and Aegis with 2 minutes on it. I would like to see them put it to use. I feel like just farming with this Aegis is a little bit too passive of an approach, but maybe they're as comfortable as OG are with just farming. Oh,
Well, the rupture on the BZM.
too late on crit
And
here.
no third target to get that Centaur activated. So,
That would have been a 5-hit play of Techies at Dagger there. Just link into him so the Centaur stops,
Yeah.
because he wouldn't have had time to use his blast off. That would have made a beautiful moment, but alas, not able to connect in time.
yeah, I don't know if they're looking to use this Aegis. I thought they were... Seb is going to not get caught, actually. Miracle. He might be regretting some decisions here. Global Science to help him try to get away. TP. And he will be fine.
Oh, wait.
He actually shockwaved.
I think he might have been able to RP there. So the reason he can shockwave is that he got lotused by DM. No, sorry, not by DM, by
The DM bought a Midas, remember?
by BZM, the other M guy.
Yeah.
And the cast time of Shockwave and RP, I think, are roughly the same. So, to me, that was a worthwhile RP. That's a pretty big kill to get Miracle there. But
Radiant's bottom
maybe a bit of
tower is under
miscommunication.
attack.
Maybe he thought they could get him with something else.
It's this is a really interesting game. I feel like the entire patch, and I kind of complained about this with you at some point, has felt very brawly, constant fighting nonstop, which is fun for a while, but when it's like the only play style, it gets a little old. It's like
Radiant's
Heroes of the
bottom
Storm, right?
tower is
This
under
game,
attack.
both teams, until this moment apparently, have been very content with farming.
Yeah, and it's interesting to see Shopify go for this move now, as now they don't have global.
Yeah.
And Arteezy's in his own triangle, so if this fight breaks out, it's a potential 4v5 where you are missing one of your key ults. So
Miracle. Oh, they can get DM, that Midas. Yep, they get the Midas, man, but he gets lifted right up. Blast off comes in. Omnislash doing quite a bit of damage, but they're separating it a bit as DM does fall. Miracle now gonna TP out. Crit will probably be the main sacrifice here for Shopify, as Saberlight will get out as well. So it's a 1-for-1 in favor of Shopify. And let's see, is that Midas? The Midas is off cooldown now. That's 30 seconds of inefficient usage. Great kill from Shopify.
Yeah, that was very, very good because of that.
They know. They know that, of course. You buy back here to use the Midas? And back to farming we go. So, the Aegis is gone. What is he going next?
He's going Ags next.
Oh, Ags, okay.
It's very interesting to see that this aura path that we were very convinced was good and that he was going to take in this game is just not happening.
Yeah, doesn't want to go for pipe. Taiga will force out the lasso. Miracle will be okay with that because that's a pretty low cooldown anyway.
It's not really that great to quote-unquote force lasso anymore when bad riders are rushing Octarine. And back in the day when you were considering it a good trade, lasso also had a longer base cooldown than it does now. So it's like a 50-second cooldown on level 2 with an Octarine. So
yeah,
he's going to have lasso again before Taiga has his TP.
Well, the Cornucopia was eventually put to good use. You mentioned earlier the Lincoln's extremely value with the Rupture, Roar, and Lasso in particular. Juggernaut! Basically, we'll have to force it.
Oh, yeah, that actually was a Roar out the window. I think Saberlight didn't recognize that Yuragi had picked that up.
Yep, now they know.
Finding out the hard way.
Pipe was just picked up by Saberlight, so I believe Shopify are going to want to fight here.
Yeah. So they have their auras. They have Greaves on Techies, Pipe on Beast. And depending on what creep he dominates, which is currently a Granite Golem, that's an additional aura there. It's nice extra health.
What level is that Granite aura?
This is a level 2. Okay. The scaling of this aura is very weird.
Does it go up by 1?
Yes.
Is that what I remember?
15, 16, 17.
That's right.
Oh, and then 19. It goes up by 2 on the last level just so Chen can be a little bit better.
Yep, Chen gets a big buff.
Very interesting.
I think this part about the game is cool. This is one of the changes I like.
Sure, it's just strange that it isn't linear.
Well, linear might be too weak for the early ones. Yeah, but yeah, this one is a little too much, though. I agree. OG in the top lane now. Fortification is popped.
Another
freebie taken. I don't know why they fortified it there, actually. Why did they fortify?
Maybe old habits with, oh, it's a tier 1? Don't know.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just brain fart and you fall into old habits. It really does happen despite people playing this game so much every day. Sometimes it's just autopilot for a moment. And definitely don't think that glyph was good in any way. So I'm going to chalk it up to that.
And who clicked it? Can we, if we could get some stats.
Can we get a shame graph?
That would be nice, actually.
There's no way of knowing, I think, right? Yeah. You can never tell who's used glyph. Scan and glyph would be good to know, especially in pubs. Who use those? Oh, I'm pretty bad at using glyphs. I'm actually happy that it doesn't show. I fall victim to the thing I just talked about. That's why I was so confident that's what's happening, because sometimes I would find myself doing that. That's old man things right there. Yep, exactly. And these players have been around for a while. They're starting to become old men as well. True. Happens to us all. All right, Shopify looking for a fight. Now that Roche is back up. Taiga jumps in, looking for Taiga. Global Silence will give them some cover. That's going to be a freebie. Does have buyback if he wants to actually force a fight now. But they are fighting around the old Roche pit. OG are in a pretty good position here, though, with the Plague Wards and with Timber in front with the Lotus as well as Yuragi. Yeah, oh, Yuragi's just going to go for it. You definitely want to fight big Omni Slash on the Saber, like he's just going to tank it like a man. He's dead. Skewer, set, looking for the RP, doesn't want to use it on just fly, so faking it out. Last time not really connecting much because of Yuragi. Gets off the spin as well. Lasso up again, this time reserved for Seb. That will be a kill going the way of Shopify. Taiga back in the game as BZM gets ruptured. Lincoln's applied a little bit too late, and he's just going to get bursted down. Seb buys back into the game. Timbersaw will not have that luxury. Miracle looks like he was ruptured, actually, so that was stolen. Trying to walk it off. It's going to be close. Looks like he is going to live. Finally, the RP comes out. It's on Arteezy. Skewered back into the fray, and here comes a nice blast. Another man. He dodged it 2 times in a row. Yuragi and this healing were getting extremely good value. The 3rd lasso of this fight, and no damage being done to Yuragi. Greaves comes out to heal up. Miracle looks like he's going to be fine. And finally, Yuragi is brought to his knees. Does have his buyback available if he wants to expend it. Blood right onto 2.
Miracle continuing to chase. Another 20 seconds on that lasso. Zartizian Company, they're going to find DM. The Midas. Whoa, the bash comes through. So DM is dead. The full team wipe for Shopify.
What a sick fight from them. That was actually incredible. There's so many details in that. So despite the 2 Manta dodges of Yuragi and the Omni-Slash solo kill on Saberlight, they're just kiting so well. This moment, a true highlight for me. He's ruptured. He's just stutter stepping over the ice crystals, gets glimmered and gets out. And most players here are just like, the fight is over, right? But with these 300 health, he finds so much impact later on in the fight. There's another Manta dodge as you see there, but it's constant flame breaks from range, and ultimately we'll get the lasso off again here after they break the Lincolns. And this looks dodgy, but he gets glimmered, he gets saved by the Greaves as well, and knock him away and kill him off. Such a clean fight from Shopify. I feel like in terms of like just raw execution and playing their limits, this is one of the best fights they've played all tournament. Just really, really nicely done.
That Octarine on Miracle is getting such good value. They used 2 ults at the beginning of the fight. Remember that. At the very beginning, which was just on Taiga, who ended up buying back anyway. That's Global, I believe, and Lasso. And then you lose Lasso 2 more times after that. Insane.
And also, it was nice to see Miracle pop off, but he does get to use the rest of his body when the heroes are dead. The entire enemy team was gone, so he got to take his hands off the keyboard and mouse for a moment.
Well, Arteezy will have that Aegis now. Aegis number 2. Let's see if he can use it a little bit better this time. I'm sure they'll want to at least poke at the high ground as they now have a 12k lead.
Miracle's going Manta. Cool.
Huh. Well, that is a universal item.
Yeah, it's not. That is a little bit of an oddball in that regard, because you're not really hitting that much and dealing that much damage that way, but just extra move speed, being able to Manta dodge some stuff here.
With the shard? I mean, does the shard work with Manta, or they fix that? I can't remember.
I don't think it works with Manta, and I also don't think he's even going to buy the shard.
Oh, he'll get it from Tormentor, don't worry.
Eventually.
Oh, Miracle looking for an opening. And we can see, actually, nobody's in the base for OG.
Yeah. An awkward standoff, 0 versus 0. Well, the Boars will eventually get it done, I guess, so...
Yeah, I guess so.
We gotta send someone back soon. Nope, never mind. They couldn't quite finish the job.
16 now?
So many dead pets, and for what? The Saberlight, he does have the ice creep. Okay.
Dire's middle tower
DZM.
Would you have,
DZM and DM.
Would you have if I told you this creep had 3 nouns as its name, would you have been able to name one of them?
What, the ancient frostbitten golem?
Yeah, if I asked you what's this creep called, I think I would have known 0 of the nouns.
I mean, I don't know. Ancient and golem aren't that hard. Frostbitten is ridiculous, though.
No, it's more like, if I asked you what's this creep called, would you have been able to reference any of those words? I would have said ice
big, ancient, maybe.
Big ice guy.
Maybe ancient.
Iceman.
Oh, the Hawk. Yeah. That's the shard for Saberlight. The old root action onto BZM. And, I mean, it is always scary, even with a substantial lead, to go high ground against a Magnus in particular.
Displacement is always, I would say, it's the single strongest concept for base defense. People a lot of the time focus on like team fight and having big spells and whatnot, but really displacement is the #1, because forcing the fight into your base is worth more than anything. Magnus obviously has that luxury with his blink.
Oh, Miracle wanted to get the jump. Global Silence is used just so he can get back out. See the Nullifier on top of him as well, as he's gonna have to back away as the Venom ult spreads the Plague.
Noxious Plague.
And they'll just have to reset. But Global Silence is the big thing that was used.
Yep.
I'm not sure if Shopify want to try to force it without that big ult available.
They don't have to, but if they wait too long, their Aegis will expire. So it's a little bit of a balancing act here, where I would like them to find use for it. Global's up in 50, and Aegis has a minute 30 on it. So this is dangerous. They're running for mines.
Yeah, they saw that the Techies mines did explode. Seth gets the RP, but it's only onto 1, and it is Saberlight. Skewed back into the Omni-Slash. The creeps are actually taking it quite a bit. He actually uses the cheese as well as the ancient column. Frostbitten monkey, whatever the hell that thing is called. It's the safety. Only the Rubik has died in this fight as BZM is now ruptured and left all alone. That means Shopify can clean him up easily. So 2 dead for OG.
I think that fight was basically doomed when the RP came out. He wanted to get 2 heroes, but only clipped the 1 because of a fast reaction, and when you only find the Beastmaster with cheese there, that's just not good enough. Seb thought he saw an opening, but decided to Shopify too fast.
This is where it gets scary, though. Skewer back into the tier 2, tier 3s even, as Saberlight gets dropped. You have to be very careful. Global silence up. The right clicks are there along with the lasso, and that brings Yuragi down. He does not have buyback.
This is minimum another lane if if they know the buyback status, which they don't. So Shopify might chill here, but I think you feel relatively confident to keep going at least for a bit with Arteezy with Aegis for 20 seconds. You can at least knock on the front door here and see what happens. And all you need to be careful with is getting skewered at the worst possible time. So you want to not get skewered when Aegis is about to expire. And because of that, Arteezy might back off here.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
A bit timid.
Yeah, they're gonna have to poke at the very least, you would think.
That's fair enough. I don't mind this disengage. I think it's good.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Saberlight will be back in 5 seconds as we're seeing the repeat here. So the second attempt at killing Saberlight is successful, but
they broke the linkments on Yuragi, so easy pick here for Miracle after that. With a better flame break, they might have got a collateral there too, actually. Still looking great for the side of Shopify. 16k lead, complete map control, Elena Barracks. And again, for OG, from a strategic standpoint, with how their lineup functions, I think there's so much pressure on them.
Hand of Midas DM is dead. Poison Nova does go off. That is the new Aghanim Scepter. And good news for OG fans that Midas will be on cooldown for a while still. He gets initiated, but he gets off the roar. It's going to be reflected thanks to the Lotus Orb. Omni Special's there as well. He's going to get bursted. Actually, the roar was stolen. Very nicely done onto Miracle. So at least 2 cores dead for Shopify. OG trying to turn this back around. They buy back onto DM. Crit, he's on the high ground, will TP out. So they get 2 cores.
Yeah, not bad from OG there. Big pick from Seb to find Bat, skewer him in, and then the stolen roar, sealing the deal there. Miracle was expecting to be able to get something off, but just chain stun for 6 seconds into death. And they didn't even Omni Slash. They just killed him with raw attacks, so they actually still have that if some sort of fight were to break out soon. Yuragi closing in on an Aghanim, so we'll unlock the Swift Slash. I feel like that's a pretty rare sight nowadays.
True.
It's a cool axe.
Is this the first?
Honestly, yes, but it might be the second one.
Crit will get it.
Middle tower is under attack.
Now you can cast Reactive Taser on allies.
It's very good to cast on Bat, I think.
Yeah.
Pretty nice.
But that fight really was about the Lotus Orb and Taiga's Spell Steal. That's what got them those 2 core kills. And that's part of the issue for Shopify when they're trying to go to high ground especially. You got to worry about the Magnus Skewer, you got to worry about all the Spell Steals and Spell Reflects.
Definitely not out of the woods yet.
A lot of single target spells to work with.
Radiant are scanning.
Very much not in the clear despite this lane of Barracks. I think Shopify, you want to calm down a little bit. Keep pushing the lane.
Lotus.
Look towards getting the next Aegis, I think, has to be their game plan here. And Roche will spawn in 20 seconds at the earliest, so 3 minutes cap. It's like OG want to take the fight to them before that, though. Smoking up 4 heroes mid and showing BZM, but nobody from Shopify even remotely close. The smoke coming out from them as well. Chips in the night, don't know if anyone's actually... Oh, maybe this could break into something. Yuragi running toward them. He has the gem, so we'll see this ward now. Clean that up immediately. And that should be the end of that. Great smokes. Sometimes nothing happens. And it's a long respawn on Roche as well, so...
Okay.
It still will be on the nighttime side when it spawns. They'll have about 30 seconds to kill it, so they'll need to get to work more or less instantly when it spawns if they want it up here, but considering they're Radiant, I don't think they would mind it being bottom. Okay, we'll poke here.
Not only just the Radiant advantage, but you get the Aghanim Scepter this time.
True.
Which you would, I would assume, rather have. Hawk is seen and destroyed. Arteezy looking for something.
The refresher card is actually pretty damn good for Shopify, though.
Gonna get ruptured, but the Lincoln's not blocking that. Has the healing ward out, so is safe for the time being. Of course, with all these Lotuses on the back line, it looks like that rupture will not be put to much use.
So Arteezy ruptured Yuragi and himself. Yuragi heals with Healing Ward, and Arteezy will heal with a Creep Camp. So very good.
Back to
Excellent
even.
trade of nothing.
Pretty big stalemate here, and of course we are the ones that know that Roche is not that close to spawning.
Yep.
But this Roche is critical.
It's the game, more than likely. If this goes to Shopify and they get it, whether it's with Axe or Refresher, it should be enough to just break the base. So OG know that they have to contest this.
Look at the bottom lane, though. It is pushing.
Yeah, it's very slow, though. You've got quite a lot of buffer with 2 tier 4s still up.
Is under attack.
I like that OG are not bringing anyone back.
Do you have a full minute buffer, though?
Yeah, absolutely.
As you wait for Roche?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, the wave is dead now. They still have both towers.
Yeah.
Now, if Shopify had a single hero there, it would be very different. But they obviously understand the gravity of the situation, so they're going to stick around, be in somewhat of a proximity at least. I guess you could make like a cute play with the Hawk plus travels, but I don't think they have any, you know, they don't have travels on someone who can push the base in a meaningful way, only on
You
the
don't
back.
have the global presence that we were seeing early in the patch, actually, with like the Chens and whatnot, or the Coddles.
I say that, but now they're actually starting to poke it a little bit around the mid lane with Miracle, who has those travels. And he could use his Manta to split push.
Oh, hell yeah.
A Manta Bat.
All right, Roche up in 10, and both
Oh,
teams
and now
know
they
that
actually
it will
got
be
Timber
soon.
back. This is perfect for Shopify. If they see this Timbersaw now, BZM, if he shows on the wave, he is deliberately... Okay, now he's
Now
showing.
he will show.
This is pretty big information. They ping him instantly with Miracle. He's like, all right, we got Timber back to base, let's go. And
But
they will.
even if you go straight into the Roche pit, even if it's a 5v4, you're against Seb with that RP.
Just need to keep some information. Keep vision out. Bad Rider Manta will be used to D-ward. An excellent purchase.
And Timber is TPing, so they're going to have 5 members for OG. Roche is at half health. So OG going to have to do something pretty soon. Although Shopify exit the Roche pit, and of course with these Plague Wards, you have a lot of information. And now that Roche will be coming to the other side,
okay, it's
OG's
breaking
go
out.
there first. And now we're going to have to fight. Miracle runs into the entirety of OG, has to pop his BKB. Crit, in the meantime, taking a lot of damage, but there's the RP used onto Miracle with the Omni Slash, and that's going to be enough to take him out. Does have buyback. Crit will die as well. I assume both will use their buybacks here. The Nullifier onto Arteezy. He has to be a bit careful. Roar finally comes up, but Stabilite dies shortly after. This is an absolutely horrible fight for Shopify to start things out. They've barely done any damage. Arteezy just trying to fight against the entirety of OG, but it's not going to happen. And he does not have buyback. Fly is dead. They've killed 4 members and forced out 3 buybacks without losing a single member for OG.
They were just there faster.
Is under attack.
Shopify were trying to do a mix of TPing down and using the gate, and they were just... You see OG are just set up. They're there with 3 heroes. Miracle runs in. He gets caught immediately. They pop the global, and all this is happening. Look, Shopify has such a long connection path. How did this end up happening? Did they TP on their tier 2 instead of the outpost? I guess so. All right.
Well, this is one of the first fights that I've seen that has gone this way on this patch. This is the cool part of the new Roche, for sure. See the frustration on Arteezy's face.
That was just...
Day-night cycle not being accounted for, it felt like.
The thing that's so frustrating for them is that this fight is... This is actually the worst case scenario. It would have been better if they would have just taken the gate together, or if they would have TP'd together or run together, but they got this awkward split where everything just happens in the wrong succession, and OG with a huge turnaround. I mean, it just basically swung the game on its head. That's a nice win expectancy graph right there.
Yeah.
Let's go on a roller coaster together. That's some Six Flags shit.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
And Yuragi has the Aegis. He's upgraded his Disperser. He got the Aghanim Scepter for free.
Radiant's
And now he
bottom
is
tower
one
has
scary Juggernaut.
Yep.
And DM's Midas, I mean, it's starting to pay off now, I guess. He's gotten an Eon disc since then. And
Yeah, that was actually crucial in that fight as well, because that was Miracle's lasso target, and he ended up just disking that off.
yeah, true.
He's hard to deal with this Aegis. They do have the displacement spell with the Bat Rider lasso, so can still be a little bit tricky for OG, but...
I mean, Yuragi is such an annoying hero to kill. You got the Lincolns, you have all the Lotuses on the sideline. You have 3 ways to dispel yourself with Blade Fury, Disperser, and...
Manta?
The Manta.
Yeah. Yeah, he's not even
very annoying.
It's definitely quite a challenge for Shopify. This game just got blown wide open. And it's not like OG are in a massively dominant position now either, because sure, you have the Aegis advantage, but you didn't get any Lena Barracks, so you still constantly being pushed a little bit bottom, and if Shopify can just weather the storm and make this Aegis expire, you've still seen like the essence of how their lineup functions is not going to break apart because the gold swings by 15k. They still have the same ways of catching, they still have enough damage, they still have the same ways of getting vision with Bat and Beast and connecting their spells. Now Refresher picked up from Miracle. Well, make things that bit harder.
He's by far the highest level in the game, by the way.
Yeah,
is there anybody even 24 yet? I don't think so.
Timbersaw is 24.
Oh, he just hit it.
What's Jugger? 22.
Yeah, everybody feels under-leveled.
Why is BZM so much higher level than Jug? Was he in a key kill or two that Jug wasn't part of?
Taiga finds the opening. Crit. Not going to go to the high ground. That's a swift slash from Yuragi, so doesn't need to expend his ult for any of these anymore.
Miracle has the option here of opening on BZM, but no backup, so can't really go for this kill. He's just going to instantly ninja gear and move to another place. Hexing up the dragon.
Oh, he wants to go for it. There's the lasso to start things out. Refresher, double lasso. You can see the flame break doing so much damage as well because of the 25 talent. But BZM, he's going to be fine. And that is a full refresher used. BZM walks it off.
Oh, there were 6 Lotuses there, by the way. Well, I guess nobody likes flowers in this game. There are currently 10 Lotuses on the map.
Is there a cheese, though?
No. So no block to be made, but...
I mean, the block is 18, I think, right?
I think so. 18 plus the cheese? Yeah, I think you're right.
Now, Miracle showing himself in the mid lane now, but they know that he doesn't have the second lasso. Not doing as much damage as he thought he would.
I think he might have been able to kill BZM if he didn't have Kaya Sanj. I actually think that status resistance was pretty integral there. He's buying enough time to not fully let the Napalms and Firefly stack up too much. Now, well, with that, off the field, OG are going to go for a second try bottom. They still have Aegis for a minute 30. You know there's only one lasso. And that inspires Yuragi with
Shopify, you probably let them have this because that kind of equalizes the game in terms of the buildings. Cancel each other out. But still with the minute left, Yuragi should feel relatively comfortable going for this mid lane. Although, similar to the situation for Shopify going high ground against the Skewering Magnus, the lasso, although you have so many more answers, like we've talked about so many times, through the lasso.
They broke his Linken's here, so when this Lotus ends, there is a possible pick.
Oh, there are 2 Lotuses as well. So
yeah.
Man.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
13k lead for OG as they've flipped this game upside down.
Middle tower.
Now going for their second lane of barracks.
Linken's pumped again.
30 seconds on Aegis. He's going to spin for the melee and won't even bother with the range. Although he gets ruptured. Do Shopify want to continue here? Doesn't look like it.
My God, that is going to be so frustrating to just watch him take this. You just can't ever get him. There's no moment of opportunity. There's Linken's Lotus into reset, and he just goes again.
The creeps are potentially getting this tier 3 top.
Oh, they actually lose the barracks to the siege creep there. Yeah.
Nah, it's just a range. Who cares? It's not like it even upgrades. Does that make any sense to you? Getting a range barracks doesn't upgrade catapults? That makes no sense.
Maybe we should have a 3rd barracks. The siege shop.
That's part of the range. That's a ranged unit.
Oh.
I always found that weird. Next patch, maybe.
That's a matter of who you think mans the catapult. Do you think it's operated by a melee creep or a ranged creep?
Either way, it's not upgraded by either barracks. BZM. Pick up that regen. And of course, the fight. I guess sheeped and telekinesis, but there's a global science to try to save him. Getting swift slash for now. Nullifier and BKB. Get over RP from Step, but he can't really get a good skewer off. And Ortiz is still really low, completely segregated from the rest of his team, and he's dead. 95 seconds left, no Bloodseeker. And Miracle completely surrounded by members of OG. And he's going to drop as well. No buyback as well. So with that, OG have really opened the door for themselves to potentially finish this game.
If they go straight down mid and they don't second guess themselves, this game is actually over. There's just no way that these 3 heroes can defend together. So it's a matter of whether OG get cold feet. I doubt they do, though. I don't think they're worried about anything now. Taiga with another aggressive move, almost finding the lift onto Fly here. Yuragi's going to go to town.
Yeah, they have nothing to be afraid of.
Oh, there's a buyback on Arteezy now, but...
Okay, he ticked into it. Blast off by crit. He's going to take a double chakram and die. That was quick. He does not have buyback himself. As BZM trying to keep everybody else in play here. The roar reflected again. It just feels like this continues to happen time and time again. Yuragi and company onto the entirety of Shopify, and they get decimated. And that should do it. As the Ancient completely exposed. More buybacks coming from Shopify. They somehow found the goal on the Miracle as well, as he's trying to have one last-ditch effort to get somebody. He gets Midas, the efficiency center, the efficiency. Miracle doing quite a bit of damage. Yuragi has to be a bit careful, but he does have the healer has finally destroyed the right of creep. Sticky Bomb comes out. The Ancient's actually going to survive here. Miracle getting on very low HP. The BKB about to dissipate, though. Yuragi's the one doing the brunt of the damage, though, and he can continue on with nothing to fear. Fly looks to be next, along with Saberlight. And now the Ancient should be going down, surely. Miracle gets RP'd as one last-ditch effort will be in vain. OG take game one. Wow. Awesome game.
What a cool...